one day I was getting ready to pick up Erin Rose from school, and she called me in tears, so upset. She had Dr. Rader for Earth Science, and she had taken their first test of the year, the big one, and knew she'd failed it. In tears, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fail the whole class. I can't do this. I can't do this. And I said, just relax. I'm almost there. So I get in the traffic circle at Notre Dame, and she gets in the car, still in tears. I said, wait, just relax a minute. We have back to school night tonight. We'll see if we can talk to Mr. Rader, and we'll find out what's happening. She didn't even know if she failed the test. She just assumed she had. Back to school night, we drive in, we park and go inside the school, and we visit all the teachers. And then I said, let's go see Dr. Rader. And we found him, and he looked at her and he said, hello, sunshine. And he told her that she had done well on the test. She had nothing to worry about. He doesn't worry about her in class because she's always the one who's taking notes, is paying attention, is ready for her work, has her work ready to go for turning in. And I said to my husband when I got home later, the minute he called her sunshine, I knew that everything would be okay, because that's what we called her from the time we brought her home.
Mr. Dalmont was one of the teachers that he looked up to his sophomore year. He was struggling a little bit with school, especially when it came to testing. He seemed to freak himself out a little bit. So I talked to Mr. Dalmont, and I said, he is studying, he's doing all his homework. And Mr. Dalmont tried to test my theory as far as like making sure he was studying. And so my son was leaving the classroom after he turned in his test, and Mr. Dalmont had asked, William, what's the answer to this question? And my son answered, and he says, well, why did you write that on the test? Why did you give me this answer instead? And he's like, well, I don't know. So, Mr. Dalmont then realized that there was some kind of problem with, between the test and him actually, understanding the instructions or something. So Mr. Dalmont would, orally quiz him to make sure he understood the material. And then he gave him some extra work, some extra help. So then my son did really, started passing his classes, and it gave him more confidence in his other classes, that he realized that, yes, he was studying, and all he had to do was maybe take his time a little bit more and focus a little bit more on his testing. And it seemed to give him a better
self-confidence.
Self-confidence with his other classes, and it seemed to help his grades. So we were very thankful for Mr. Dalmont.
Sometimes I think you have to put things in a balance. So we rather to, like in my point of view, I rather to struggle with tuition and stuff, because we have to do decisions. So sometimes there is things that you cannot buy, vacations you cannot take, things that you cannot do because money. But the other side is your kids' education. So if you don't invest in your kids' education, what are you going to invest in? So for me, my husband and I, we decide to take that risk and just go and do it, because that's the best we can leave to our kids. When we're not here, the only thing they're gonna have is their education. So we want the best for them, and we really think Notre Dame is the best.